Hi, Conversations with the Pumzela, the girl next door. I am so excited because today I will be sitting and chatting with Nomfundo Nkosi. Hey, girl, this. So I just want you to join me as she's going to be sharing so much information about her organization, which is People with Disabilities, I think Ignite, but it's her story, not my story. She is the ambassador of Miss and Mr. Albinism. So join me as I'll be chatting with her. Guys, I am waiting to be spoiled, and she actually once sang here at my event as an artist, so I am so happy to have her back joining me today. Conversations with the Pumzela, the girl next door. And you know what I do, and I always say this, it's about that time when you see me sitting on this studio. So today I have a beautiful, bright girl who is Risha Senemi and Utungos, Nomfundo Nkosi Dlamini, but it doesn't matter. From Mpumalanga, I have Nomfundo visiting today here, and I love that. The first time she came here, I had an event, Conversations with the Pumzela, and I had guests and for us. So this is so fitting, 360 for her to come, because that time you just performed and you were rushing somewhere else. Yes. But today we're gonna dig deep into who Nomfundo is and what does she do and what's that it thing in her. You can see it's the it girl. I always hang out with the it girls. So hi baby.
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good, thanks, and yourself?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me in the conversation. I've been seeing since we met way back when, before COVID. Yeah. And I was saying, I see our girl is doing so well. She's up and about me. Let me grab her before she becomes too big for my shoes. Like interviews. I'm like, let me get my girl. Thank you for joining me. I don't know where to start, but for conversation, what we do, I love my girl next door, people that you can see, people that you can touch, people that you can always get a phone call if you are inspired. You can say Nomfundo, you know. I love shining a light to Amashiros that are here, that are visible to us, and that you can see with people. You look up to somebody that you can say Nomfundo, you know. Yes. I'm not like saying Gabi, not the operas of this world where we look up to people that are so far-fetched, you know, from us. And this is why I love conversation, because it gives me a chance to see my girl next doors and my boys next doors. We are also hot. Oh, yes. We are hot. We're doing a lot in our communities and growing everybody. So that's why you are here, because I love your story. Yes, again, we talk and I love your story. Let's start with, before we go to the bigger things, let's start with Nomfundo as a young girl. Who was that girl? Born in Mpumalanga, where in Mpumalanga? Your character? Were you quiet? Were you shy? Or were you always been this bubbly musician? Or always out there?
So I was born in Mpumalanga, in Komazi.
Okay.
That's where I come from.
Yeah.
So growing up, I'm told I was very quiet and I loved sleeping. The energy that you see now, I'm told it was not there at all. But then growing up, when I went to primary school, that is when the real Nomfundo arose. I think it was triggered by me going to a special school where I met a lot of people with albinism, and it was a shock for me. Because I always thought it's me and my brothers, you know. And you know how it is when it comes to us people with albinism. We get people discriminating us, calling us names and all of that. So it somehow takes you into your corner, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to bother anyone. So I'll just do what I need to do, and I'm not gonna bother anyone. But going to school and meeting people, more people with albinism like myself, it really did a miracle to me.
Wow.
And that is when I came out. The Nomfundo that you see I'm sure at home they were shocked. And then what happened to this one? I'm sure they were very shocked. What happened to this one? What changed, you know? And from there, I remember in my mom's church, I then started singing in my mom's church. I would request every Sunday. I had my solo slot. Young as I was, I think I was around 6, 7. Every Sunday I would just bless them with a solo when I'm back, because I was in boarding school. Yes, so I think one other thing that made me love music so much, we did music at school. So
I was about to ask, but when did you know that you can sing? You know, so you got it from Eskolweni.
I got it from Eskolweni. So everyone at school was involved in a certain choir. They'd make sure they put you where you fit. Everybody, literally the whole school.
Yes. So they just made sure that they will unleash all the talents that
they made sure.
It was music and what?
It was music. We had dancers as well. With music, it wasn't just vocals. There were those that were playing instruments. Yes, we did traditional dancing. It was almost everything. Painting was there as well.
So the whole arts and culture and all that, so that they expose you guys to everything. I love schools like that. My daughter's school is almost like that, where she does almost everything. I even bought gender drums and all that. It's everything. But it helps, I think, with also discovering yourself.
It does. It does. Because I saw that with dancing, I can't.
You were like two left feet.
Yeah, I only did the traditional dance because it was easy. It was not that difficult. But with your ballroom, you were
like no.
Yeah.
Okay. Then after primary, high school, was it the same environment until after matric, or you moved?
I moved to Pretoria. Went to Philadelphia Secondary School. It's in Soshanguve.
Also special school or normal school?
It was a special school as well. So it was more or less the same. But with Philadelphia, it was not just people with albinism and those that are blind or visually impaired, let me put it that way. It was all sorts of disabilities. We were now exposed to every disability, those that are what do we call the proper word, hearing impaired.
I like the politically correct.
I know those ones. I know my soldiers. They'll kill me for it. Nomfundo, what did you say?
I think I shared a bit. I like that education because with me, as I said, my dad was blind, but I normally say blind. I don't say visually impaired. Like my sister who was here as well, we just use a language loosely and not know how it feels to the other person on the other side. So I like that you come back intentionally to say, no, let me say it correctly. So I'm going to learn and I'm going to try to say it correctly with you as I go. But anyway,
but then
it's learning.
But then with saying a person is blind, that one is not because under visually impaired, we've got people that are blind, or people that are partially sighted, those that are with low vision.
So there's different variation as well.
Yes, there is. Because even with people with albinism, we are visually impaired, and people do not know that. When we say we are classified under people with disabilities, they think we are talking about the skin. Yes, the skin is vulnerable, but the actual problem is here.
Is it?
Yes, it's the eyesight. You see, now I'm looking at you, but I'm trying to avoid that
lights.
Yes, because when I'm looking at the camera, I'm like, oh no, I can't go.
They're like, okay. So those are the things that because even with me, I always thought it's more the skin that is more vulnerable. Where I could see, I remember I had a friend as well, a Soweto who was living with albinism. Always, Mama can make sure she has a hat on. So Kimi, it was always about the skin more than everything else. And I know she was visually impaired, but the focus was not that.
Yes. Because as far as I know, the skin is vulnerable. But the reason we are classified under people with disabilities is because of the eyesight. Yes.
Sure. Now that we are talking about living with albinism, maybe I can just go there. How did it make you feel before you go through the school where you could see that, it's not me, I'm not the only person who's like, you see everybody around you. Did you know that you were living with albinism when you were at home with your family? you thought you're just lighter than everybody else?
With my family, no.
Okay.
It's actually people from outside that will tell you, no, you don't look like us.
Yeah.
You are different. Your skin is brighter than ours.
Yeah.
With my family, I would be lying.
Okay.
I don't
and
remember
in your
them.
family, mom, dad, where did it come from?
From my dad's side.
From your dad's side.
Yes,
Okay. How many
yes.
are you at home?
With albinism.
Yeah.
We were 3. One passed on, and then now it's just me and my brother.
Oh, okay. So at home, it's just normal.
At home, it is. At home, it is.
I think that's what my cousin was also saying, to say when you are home, she feels comfortable and all that. She just gets reminded about her side when she's out of the house, and that's what happens most of the time. What are the things that people normally don't understand about albinism? General.
One, we've just mentioned it, the issue here, eyesight.
Yeah.
And even when we try to explain to our peers, to our friends, they're like,
Yeah.
why is it that you can see me? You know?
Yeah.
So we try to explain it, yet people don't really don't really get it. We don't blame them because yes, I can see you, but if you give me your diary, you ask me to read from this distance, I can't. It has to be here, even with my spectacles on. But with my spectacles, it's much better.
Okay.
Yes, it's much better. So that's one thing that people don't understand about albinism, the eyesight issue, and the fact that we'd be walking outside, when it's too bright, you'd find me, my eyes would be like this. I remember this other day I was walking with my younger brother, and he laughed at me like, this is not Mandulele, it's because we really can't stand too much light, especially sunlight. We really can't stand too much light, and sometimes our eyes would be like this, and you think I'm sleeping or whatever. I'm just trying to avoid the light. And another thing is the issue of the skin.
Okay.
That's a big one because we get insulted for this. We get all the name calling. We've been called all sorts of different things. We still experience situations where you get in the taxi and somebody decides to go out.
Is it?
Because there's information that they have about us that if you sit next to them, you will give birth to one. It's just a lot.
Stupidity. Yeah. So
it's just a lot.
What are most ones that are funny to you? What are the funniest that you've ever heard about people living with albinism? With what they say? I'll tell you my one.
Okay.
That I had.
I've got one that breaks my heart.
Okay.
This one really breaks my heart. We are told that if you take a body part of a person with albinism, you'll get rich. I want to be rich so bad.
Can I have it all? Can I?
If it was true, one of my brothers once said, Simba Gozo, the one I was with at Metro FM.
Oh yes.
He said, if it was true, I would have cut my own finger. I would have cut my own finger to be rich. And my perception is, if it was true, I would be rich myself, and people would just come and take the piece of, from me. But I'm not yet there. I have to sweat and work for it, just like everybody.
You're a human being.
I'm a human being. So that one breaks my heart. And there are a lot of funny ones. They say that we don't die.
That's what
We run to mountains. Like what? I'm so lazy. I can never run to a mountain. From here to a mountain, I don't even know where mountains are from here. So they say we don't die. We run to mountains.
Wow.
What else? It's a lot. It's a lot.
So I think for me that's one when I later on got to understand in my head like no, it's because you are in minority. Not a lot of you.
Yes, true.
And when we pass on, like everybody when we pass on, they don't say somebody who passed on is somebody who had a disability. It's Nomfundo.
Yes.
So there will never be there is an albinism funeral. You can't call it that. So that's why like why do they think so? It bottled my mind. But why do they say they disappear when they die? You'll never see a funeral of with somebody living with albinism. Like how?
And
it's because of the name.
I got the clarity on that one. One of my friends, Gaddafi the poet.
Yeah.
He said the reason they say that they say we don't die, we run to mountains, is because they know they abduct us. And then they go take whatever parts they want to take, and then they would say she disappeared until they know what they did. these are the people who came about with this
So,
whole thing.
Are you telling me there's been a lot of disappearance like that where people living with your condition were killed?
Back in the days, yes.
Sure.
Back in the days, yes.
Yeah.
And
I know there's been that thing that you as special and people forgetting that no, you're special, you're a human being. Oh, now that's a big clarity.
Yeah.
I think that's a big clarity.
I remember there was a case in Witbank.
Yeah.
Where a person with albinism passed on. To our surprise, they went to the grave. Bakuba Umzima, and his body
was not there anymore.
Nowhere to be found. Yeah.
So there's still a lot of advocacy here that needs to go into educating people that guys, we're just human beings.
There's a lot. We have a lot of work to do.
Now I know why you say it breaks your heart, because really you wouldn't want to feel like, should I pass on, you have this thing in the back of your mind that something like this can happen to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sure. Fast forward.
Yes.
Now you are in Pretoria. So when you move this side, when you come to Pretoria, so being in Gauteng now, like being in Gauteng is since Pretoria.
No, I went to the University of Limpopo.
Okay.
Yes, I had to go back to Limpopo.
So all provinces were now. Okay. Mpumalanga, Gauteng.
Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Gauteng, Limpopo, and Mpumalanga always when I go.
And how was that for you?
I got used to it. Hey?
Yeah. And the sun was not too harsh?
It is harsh in Mpumalanga.
More than. Okay.
Because so with with our boarding schools, they make sure it's special schools. Okay. So they make sure that there's enough shelter. They make sure that everything is provided for.
Okay. Professional career, what did you do first?
I studied Bachelor of Administration.
Okay.
Yes. Of which it had politics. What are some of the modules that I did? Politics, economics, organizational psychology, human resource management. Yeah.
Okay, so but then you leaned towards HR.
Yes.
You're not training so much because I saw the career stuff that you do. Maybe let's talk about that. So why HR? Why did you lean towards that more?
Firstly, I wanted to do public administration, right?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be involved in this politics and fight for the rights of people with disabilities and all of that. But I sat down and thought that might limit me. So let me go this way. And if I succeed, then I will be able to create more opportunities, more employment opportunities for people with disabilities.
So you're not all marginalized, or they don't even know who to talk to and how. Okay.
Exactly. Hence the career.
Fighting in your own way.
Oh yes.
In your own way. Okay, and then you have this company, this baby, HR.
Yes.
The consulting company. What is it?
Yes.
Training?
So I have the organization, right? People with Disabilities Ignited. Okay. And then I also...
so there's People with Disabilities Ignited?
Yes.
So that is just an organization?
Yes.
Okay, let's start there. What do you do? What about other than activism?
So when I started that organization, I told myself that I don't want to streamline it to anything. Okay. I just wanted to be a door for all people with different disabilities to come with whatever concerns that they have. We will try to tackle that, and we will grow.
Help like each other.
Yes, until we are able to explain ourselves what is it that we do. Okay. But as for now, we just do everything.
So what activities that are part of that organization?
The organization. So the Career Expo comes from the organization. Yes. And it was inspired by another career expo that I attended last year, and I really saw the gap when it comes to that, where we just gather as people with disabilities and we empower one another, because it doesn't help to just tell ourselves, see, I'm an activist, we'll fight. What are we doing to empower ourselves? Okay. That will make us this is what we have. Opportunities because sometimes it doesn't help to always point fingers at the community, at the government, while we are not working on ourselves. So hence the Career Expo. And what we also do, try to to look for opportunities for people with disabilities.
Okay.
We created a WhatsApp group. We share those opportunities there.
Oh, nice.
And I've had a number of calls from people with disabilities telling me that I got the job, I'm going for an interview, things like that. So we saw that it is working. So how about we broaden it? We just say we are doing a career expo and we are calling all people with disabilities to come, so that we also help them with the interview process, because they can get the job, but they can get the interview, but what are the expectations?
Confidence issues, and as you're talking about issues that happens to you, which can affect you as a human being. You don't even trust your abilities, you don't even trust yourself. So you get to an interview, you have that thing in the back of your mind that I may not be good enough.
I may not be good enough.
So you also help with that.
Also help with that, because with people with disabilities, the moment you get in the interview room, the first thing they look at, it's your disability, whether you like it or not,
how educated you are.
I always tell people that as people with disabilities, we always have to prove ourselves, and that's something we need to accept, not something we need to fight. Because no matter how hard we try to fight it, people will always question our existence. People will always say, so do people who are without limbs, can they do this and that? So we always have to prove ourselves. So that is why we started this career expo, so that we equip people with disabilities. And I saw it fit that we also invite people that are in the arts. Gaddafi the poet, I'm sure yes. So he's also going to be part of us. And then there's Tiba Jomashishi. He plays Hosi in Mubango. Yes. So we also asked them to come.
And I saw he's going to be one of the speakers, right?
Most definitely, most definitely. So we asked both of them to come be part of our career expo. And then we also have Spesihle Koza. She's a professional teacher. She has a disability as well. And then there is Puti Siminya. She has albinism actually, and she's also involved in the HR space, but mostly in the private sector. With me, I'm more informed with the public sector because I've served in the public sector. So we thought that we bring people from different spheres, because it's not everyone wants to be in the office.
True. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. And you're your mother.
Of course. You make me think of my son. What he's doing now.
How old is he now?
He's 3 years, 3 months. Yes.
So it's that running around and all that. That
He runs around the whole day.
Mommy. Because as I said, like, you look grown. The last time you just this artist like, okay, also or like, I'm performing and I'm leaving.
Yes.
Like, sorry guys, I can't say. She was so busy. But still Miss Busybody.
Yes.
And then I see beautiful things. Then tell me, Miss and Mrs. Albinism. I know you won a title, ambassadorship.
Yes.
How did that, before you even get into that stage, how did that happen?
The whole process of the whole pageant. I attended the first installment of Mr. and Miss Albinism. I can't remember if it was in 2021 or I can't remember back then. So I just attended it and I told myself I just want to see how it goes, what is it about.
Was modeling part of one of the things that you wanted to do even before then?
Before I gained some fats. Yes.
So, and you're tall.
Yes.
So you do have the profile.
Yes.
Tonight with the hips and bumps. So already we are excluded. You see.
No, but these days, everybody is welcome.
I can remember that Miss South Africa straight.
It's the norm that was created,
which is unnecessary.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just saw the whole thing and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. Somebody who specifically inspired me actually is a girl called Mandisa Makunga. Of which she was part of the contestants there. I loved the energy. I loved how she presented herself. I actually saw myself in that girl. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to do this. So the following last year I saw the advert and then I entered for the competition, and the journey began. We had tasks to do. I did a lot of ups and downs last year. I told myself, if I'm fainting this year.
And they make you do all of this social media stuff.
Yeah.
And they train you to become not necessarily influencers, but you get to a point because why do they do that? They do it so that when you take your role as an ambassador, you need to know what you need to do.
You need to know. But with some of us, a few of us, we've been active even before Mr. and Miss Albinism. We've been doing the work. It's just that Mr. and Miss Albinism pressed the pressure, and we had to, you know, because now it was a competition. It was no longer just me and my journey, you know. So we had to put more energy, more effort. We had to literally do the work, whether we feel like it or not.
Damn. And then how long was the competition? It started?
I think it was around March, April.
Okay.
And then the crowning was in December.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So throughout the year,
it was busy.
It was hectic.
So you were crowned. Can we have you in a sesh?
Okay.
Like, please grace us. Please grace us. Guys, you know, with conversations with the Kumzula, I'm seeing the pattern. I also had my girl, Wase Dlamini, who is also a teen pageant, Miss Teen.
That's lovely.
She's doing the most. So you are the second one. So I think next time I'm going to ask them to bring their crowns. I'm going to have them.
Yes, we definitely.
So this is good. So 2023 and 24. So until the rest of the year this year.
Yes.
What did you win? What do you need to do? How did it all go? How did it feel there, this second stage? Did you expect that you will be crowned?
You know what? I remember the crowning week.
Yeah.
Miguel was just not feeling it. I nearly gave up because I remember I was not in a good space emotionally. Okay. So I told myself, you know what, I'm not going to do this thing. I don't need more pressure right now. So I'm just gonna quit.
Okay.
And I sat down and thought that people voted for me. People use their monies, their data, you know, they put in the energy so that I get out there, you know. So I was like, I can't disrespect people like that. So I'm going to do it for my followers. I'm going to go there and get the crown. So it was not easy. It was
emotionally taxing.
Emotionally, I was not okay.
Yeah.
Emotionally, not because of the competition, with other challenges that we normally face. I was just not in a good space, but I ended up deciding let me do this. I started it, then I need to finish it, and I involved a lot of people in this thing. So now if I decide to quit, the next time I come and say, guys, help me, they're not gonna take me serious. And I was like, you know what, let me respect these people, let me honor these people, let me show
yourself
them.
As well.
Yeah, true. Yeah. The energy I put in, I
can imagine.
The whole journey was just, it was heavy. It was heavy on us. All of us, actually. It was heavy on us because we would call one another, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I feel like pulling out. Yeah. I don't think I can do this anymore. You know, we were all just whining and, you know, but
and
when
how
we
many
got
contestants?
there,
how many of you?
I can't remember. We're supposed to be 26, but I think we were maybe 10.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. Because there are those that pulled out.
Okay.
Yes. So, but when we got on stage, we were all excited. We were all excited.
You looked amazing.
There were no tears. It was just tears of joy. You know, we were all happy for one another. We celebrated one another. We were so proud of one another. I remember in our dressing rooms, I remember how we spoke about how proud we are for one another, how beautiful we complimented one another, how beautiful we looked, how proud of ourselves we are as people with albinism, you know, being able to stand out there, tell our story, you know. So it was very wonderful on stage. It was very wonderful.
Sure.
It was like a dream come true.
I saw this girl and said, I'm like, look at her. You look amazing. What did it teach you, Jay, like about yourself?
It taught me a lot. I hope I don't cry saying this, but it taught me a lot. I've learned that you need to, it doesn't matter which organization you join or you are part of. Yeah. You need to always maintain self. You need to make sure that you don't separate with self. if you get into a sphere or an environment that you feel does not fit with me, then I don't want to be part of it because I don't want to lose self. Number two, it has taught me that let your efforts, make sure that you reap from your efforts.
Wow.
You make sure that you reap from your efforts. Don't just do work and say it is well, it is fine. You make sure that you reap from your efforts. It is your sweat, it is your time, it is your prayers. You said, you know, Mina, I had to, at some point I had to neglect my child to do these things, you know. So it took a lot. So that energy that you put in, make sure you need to fight to get it back. And do not ever let anyone, don't let anyone eat your harvest. Don't. It belongs to you. It is yours. Let it go where it is due. So those are the kind of lessons I've learned. Those are the kind of, it's very deep. That is why I'm saying that I hope I don't cry saying this, because it's way too deep for me. And after the competition, even after the competition, I saw that, you know what, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for all of this, but it is I who put in the energy. I worked for this, therefore let it pour back. So that those are the kind of lessons that I've learned. Besides those that are personal, I've learned that every person has a story to tell, as you've said, and only if people can give people with albinism a chance to tell their stories. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I had to listen to some of the contestant stories. I had to encourage some of them, because they're really doing well for themselves. As I'm speaking, I'm thinking of Homolimo. She's a radio host. She's doing really well, and she's so young. I think she's 21.
Is it?
And yet she's doing so young. She's doing so well, you know. So if only we could get those platforms to prove ourselves, because we see the need of proving ourselves. We don't mind doing it. If we can get those platforms, I think we can really excel as people with albinism. And I think I always say this, Uguti, as people with albinism, we need to learn to create our own platforms, because sometimes when we let people create platforms for us, they take advantage.
They define.
People take advantage. And some come with their own intentions that are not to build us up, that are not to benefit people with albinism. Exactly. So they know, okay, this is a group that is vulnerable. So if I come and say this and that, I can
and get them to go forward while I read behind.
Exactly. So that is what we need to really work on as people with albinism, and hence the career expo as well. It's also part of the agenda that, guys, let us stand up for ourselves. If we need to go to school at 35, you go to school. We need that. We need you qualified so that we can help you get where you want to get, you know, or so that you can come and help us fix this thing or address these issues, you know. So that is why we are doing this career expo. We want to empower people with albinism and people with different disabilities, so that we are able to be our own bosses. We are able to tell our own story, because if we bring other people to tell our own story, they don't know. Simple things.
Just the same as us Black people, African people, where we get other people telling our story, and most of the time it's always not the same, and you have to always explain yourself, you know. And us again as women, because you are not only dealing with being like having a disability. Two, there's issues as a woman. Gender issues that come to being, but there's so much more. Other males out there, it doesn't matter with what race. Males, they have it, not that they have it easy, but there's always that gender imbalances. And then you add another, now I'm living with a disability again, there's something else over and above that. In those rooms, there has to be a male opening up doors for me, instead of opening up the doors for yourself. So I like what you're doing. So with the ambassadorship now, what do you need to do for the year? What are the main activities or objectives that you need to fulfill until your end of the reign?
You know,
I like the smile. That's my, yeah.
You know what I told myself? I told myself that I'm just gonna continue with the work that I've been doing.
Okay.
And that will be my contribution.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue with the work that I'm doing. That will be my contribution, because now, if I say I'm going to do this for this period, I might lose the energy after my serving period.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I just told myself that let me do things.
You're gonna be one with your crowd.
Yes.
Okay.
I just told myself that, you know what, let me just.
So there is no definition from their side, from the pageant side, to say this is what they need to see for the rest of the year.
Honestly, we haven't received that yet. Yes, we haven't received any coaching. That is why I say that I'm just going to continue with the work that I've been doing. And to people who want to be part of the pageant, I would advise them that do your work.
Okay.
Do your work, and whether you are in or outside the competition, because the challenge that we face, you get into the competition, you do the work, the competition is done, now you are done.
Oh.
And we don't need that. This is a serious issue for us. Albinism, we have a lot of challenges, you know, that need to be addressed, and people that get the spotlight need to make sure that wherever they are, they do the work. Yes, they do the work, they raise the voice and all of that. So that is what I told myself, that I'm just going to continue with the work that I do, and that will be my contribution.
Giving me another line, but I think story for another day. I was worried with the girl I was talking about, was a Dlamini pageant.
Yes.
Where sometimes being part of those pageants can be so expensive, to a point whereby it's so detrimental to the person with the talent or who want to see themselves out there, with how they are set up, where you need to get the votes, where you need to fund yourself to get into the pageant until the end. And then from there on, there's nothing from the pageant side that then propels you. You know, I can see a lot of them that are coming up where is for the marginalized, other than your mainstream proper thing, other than the mainstream, where Ngati, they use the people who are marginalized to create. I know they're creating beautiful brands, spaces and opportunities, but it would be nice to see what do they do,
what it does for me
and does for the people, you know, because that's what in my head I was thinking. They will tell you this is what you must do for the year, and they will take you to places. You know, like as an example, if I wanted to speak to you, they could be the one who says they are setting up all these interviews. They are setting you up to go everywhere else. But I guess it's a story for another day.
It's a story for another day. That's a big one. That's a big one. Because somebody asked me recently that, Nomfundo, who's your manager? I'm like, I don't have a manager. I'm like, hey, whoa. You don't have a manager? I don't have a manager. And then how do you do your thing? Because this moment you're there, this moment it's okay. There are the people who do refer me, but most of the time I had to do the work. I had to call the radio stations. Hey, Tomala FM, I have this. Can you please assist?
Because my assumption, I don't want to lie, maybe it's me being short-sighted. My assumption is, as an ambassador for people living with disabilities or with albinism, for this one specifically, they've already set up programs and projects and all that where their voice is louder, because now they have a bigger airtime to have already where you're supposed to be booked for the whole year. So that whatever that you are exposing, the awareness that you are carrying for the brand, you need to be there every day, not you trying to find that. Okay. Let's come back to Nomfundo.
Okay, alright.
Alright. But most definitely, I'm glad that you kind of spoke about it, because for me, those are the spaces that we need when people are starting things. They really must know that it's not about, as you were saying, it's not more about you. Yes, you can give us a platform for us, but that platform, they must also use it like well enough, because we can educate a whole lot of more
we
people.
can do a lot.
Can educate and just give more people opportunities that they might not have. So music.
Yes.
What's happening there? So because I know the first album that when you're performing here? And then what's happening with music?
It was not released, let me tell you. Up until this day, there's no music that I've released.
Okay.
But in my own space, I do perform.
Okay.
But there's something coming up this year.
Okay.
I think I'm at a better place right now. I'm in a very good space to do that.
Okay.
I think at that time I wasn't ready. Hey, I was just excited about it. You know, oh, I'm now getting invitations. I'm now on posters. You know, you remember when I came here, I was like, I need to hurry. I need to go.
Yes.
Performing, you know. So I think at that time I was just too excited about it. Yes, but. It doesn't mean it wasn't supposed to happen at that time, but I think somehow I was
It laid a big foundation.
It did.
Because,
hence I'm here today.
Like I know you as an artist.
Yeah.
So album or no album. So that would be nice to see.
Yeah. So there's something that we are cooking currently. Surely before the end of this year, you will be able to download my music.
Yes! You got it here. You heard about that. And then will it be on YouTube? We download everything else. You'll then start and make sure that you market whatever's
Yes,
coming.
I'll make sure. Well, we are planning, let me just say it. We are planning a live recording.
Okay.
Because the posters will be out in very soon. So we're planning a live recording. I'm not yet sure if I'm going to do a full album or an EP or a single. We're still planning on that one. But definitely this year we are doing a live recording, and after that will definitely be available on our digital platforms.
Yes. So now when people are looking for you, they just follow you on your socials.
Yes.
Nomfundo. So you don't have a brand page. Yes.
I don't have a brand page yet. You know what I did? I just
look at me saying a brand page. You know, like when I'm saying there has to be that brand page coming up.
It must be there.
It must be there.
It must be there.
Definitely gonna work on that. So now they just follow Nomfundo.
They just follow Nomfundo.
Dlamini Nkosi.
Yes.
Dlamini Nkosi.
Of course.
It's such a pleasure to see you grown. You know, when social media has a thing where you see people, you see what they do, and when you then sit with them, then you kind of the essence of your being. You are so passionate about opportunities. You are so passionate about teaching others to know why they exist. The purpose, you know, and you said something that spoke to me. I went away this weekend. It was work, and then I just took time off as well for self, because I've been doing a lot of things, and one thing that I have not done for myself is to make sure that I reap for my efforts.
Yes.
And I think that for me it's a big takeaway.
Yes,
it's a big takeaway, because you do a whole lot. You sweat, but sometimes others benefit more than you. Or because when you don't know yourself and you don't know your being, you don't know. That's why I asked you, what have you learned about yourself? Because it takes that. So as somebody who's living with albinism, what are the things that you would want the general, I specifically say general public. I don't want to say people like us who don't have any disabilities. It doesn't matter. But with anybody with disabilities, what are the things that you would like to see us do as well? Not that I know you today, I know Nomfundo with a disability, I know Ubuntu like this. It ends there when it's just the two of us. What are the things that you would like to see us do more, that will also show that we are all living in one space as human beings?
I was thinking of coming here. I was thinking about it, right? That if you want to influence a large number of people, the government must be involved. The government must be involved. Look at how I hope I don't say it in an offensive way. Look at how HIV and AIDS has been addressed. You know, clinics took part, hospitals took part, everybody was involved, organizations, and the government did fund some of those projects. You know, if the same could be done for us, I think the general public would just follow through. You know, anything that comes from the government, people just gel in. You know, So if we could get assistance from the government, financial assistance from the government to host those shows, those awarenesses and all of that, and call people to come, you know, as like all normal events, you know, to hold people to come and do the same thing, you know. I think in that way people, because I don't want to say I blame the general public for everything that people with albinism are going through. The education must be injected. That's one thing, because people have their own information from their great-grandmothers, their families. Recently I saw a video on TikTok. It was a son and a father talking, and the father was trying to talk to the child that you need to cut your hair. And the boy was saying, no, I'm not going to cut my hair. And the daddy said, if you do, I can't remember the story well, but the father ended up saying, if you do cut your hair, you look like Liswef. So, and that child was confused with what is that?
They didn't even know.
He couldn't even pronounce that word. What is that? And then the father said, Albino. So you see, there's still education, false education that's going on. Good background, you know. Only if we could get assistance, if we could get, especially from the government, would best assist. We're not saying they should do it for us. No, we just need them to assist where they can, you know, with everything that we're going to need. And
like those campaigns that make sense, that educate people proper. I hear why you're making an example with HIV and AIDS. You know, not that there has to be a holiday or a day or reminder, but you are so right that there's so much stereotypes and stereotypical things and things that are so untrue that it's so easy for other people to continue, you know, perpetuate those things. And like the name calling, we will say, instead of saying a person living or a person with a condition or with albinism, we say somebody is an albino. Because I think that was a big one for me, because then I didn't know, I thought it was the same. But no, don't call me about my condition. The condition that I have. If you say I'm an albinism, you are calling me not a human being, but you're calling me as if I exist as a condition, not as a human being living with the condition. So those kind of campaigns that can help people or us every day. I get what you're saying. So I'm glad we're calling out government out there. Whoever will get this conversation, make a difference, do something about it.
Most definitely.
So I think, will that be part of what you try and do in your organization, the campaigns that are more educational?
Most definitely. And I'm glad to say we've partnered with Nkomazi municipality. We spoke to them early this month, and I put a proposal via WhatsApp. I don't want to lie and say I wrote something. No, via WhatsApp, voice note, Stella Uwenza, a campaign where we teach people about albinism. Schools must be involved. Uksusa, this thing that these kids have been told, because when you go out, it's mostly kids that will name call you. And where did they get it? From their parents at home. Yes. So we have a partnership with Nkomazi municipality, and I spoke to the lady. I don't want to mention her name because I don't know how comfortable she is with that. Spoke to her, and she said, you know what, my child, we are definitely going to do this. We are definitely going to do this, but we're going to do it in September because it's Albinism month. That is when all eyes are on us. So we really need.
There is Albinism month. So but then Heritage Day takes over so much than
Albinism month. But this year, so from the 1st of September, we're just going to say Albinism month. From the 1st of September, we're going to make sure that people
also calendar wise and all that. I'm gonna also take it up for myself. I think the way I work, because I've seen the change. We cycle, we collapse. Our slogan now is difference makers. I remember when I was working, we winning out there, we were right behind, you know, those kind of things. And when Bafana played, I felt, firstly, Banyana. I sat in my corner, I cried, and I was so upset to say why we did this for Amapoke and not Banyana. But I think the responsibility lies with us as people who are working in the different spaces to say, if you see something that is not balancing, voice it out, because sometimes it's somebody else who's an enthusiast who cares about that,
True.
who voices it. It's not because it's the other one is better than the other, not,
yeah.
but it's because we don't voice out what we are passionate about and share.
Yeah.
So I think on my side, I think it's one of those things that I will remember, you know, and take responsibility and do a campaign with you in September. Please call me out on that.
Really
So
yes,
what's next? Other than March, the career, you can say when it is, and it's online, and I like that it's online because then it means more people can be able to. Yeah. You can tell us more about that and the date. Production, are we able to get this done before the career day? Because it's on the 5th, isn't it?
It's on the 5th of March. Yes. I haven't shared the link yet.
Okay.
But I will definitely this week I'll share the link because it's next week.
I'll try production to make sure that at least this conversation is out before the 5th of March, so that at least we can get more people. And also please share it with me. I'm gonna post it on my channel so that other people, not only those who live with disabilities, but everybody, career education, I think it is still important, and for people to learn either a skill or how to do what, it's always important. I'm part of IFLOM online radio station as well, which is Future Leaders for Academic Excellence. So we are also an NGO. We also push so much on career. So maybe that's something else that we can partner with you going forward. Maybe let's have you as a feature, maybe in once a week, so that we can then expose you further and everybody else, so that we just grow and awareness must grow.
You know, this kind of moments always make me speechless. Because it happened as well with Hope Alive FM. You know Hope Alive FM.
Yes.
So there's a project that we're going to do with them in June as well.
Okay.
So I went there, spoke about disability, and Buti Muzi said, I got the name right. He said he would like to invite different people with different disabilities to the studio to host the show. They can come as guests, as long as it's people with disabilities.
That whole,
just to give them the experience and to prove to people that we are not limited to administration or to work as receptionist and all of that. They can
and switchboard and all those other roles that are
so. When you're saying this, I'm reminded of that moment, and the reaction is the same. I'm like, oh my god.
No,
also working with Ngomazi FM as well, it's a community radio station as well, and it's just social education. We talk about disability, career, everything. We talk about everything. Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm glad that there is a lot happening. It's just that maybe most people like us might not see it.
Yeah.
So it means we need to make sure that it's like seen.
Yeah.
Not only when it's happening, where it posts for tomorrow after tomorrow's call. So it must be an everyday thing that we talk about when it comes to people living with disabilities and any disability. I have followed, or I'm still following Uma Singeta.
Yes.
Love her. Now she has a clothing brand and all that.
Wow.
So I always say, you know, people with disabilities really challenges us able people because we can be so relaxed, so lazy, with no challenge whatsoever. And that's why for me it's always nice to shine a light on you, because it's one of those things that we see you, we get motivated.
Yeah, true.
Because we see, but yes, there is something more special, more different than us, and your drive is on a higher vibration, on a higher level, and it makes us get up more. To say, no, not that we're competing, but if they can do that, why can't I do it?
Yeah, I understand.
But I think it does assist with balancing the world, you know, because it does make a difference. So I commend you for everything else. I've never seen you different, and I think for me that was just my one misconception that with people living with albinism is the understanding of what is the sickness, you know, and how is it living with it, like, you know, with the skin, what other things, like is medication expensive? Is education expensive because you need to go to different like places more than us?
True,
You know.
true.
So for me, I think it's been those things. It would be nice maybe next time where we now talk. I wanted to talk about you as the Nomfundo. Who are you? The things that you're doing. So if you allow me, maybe we can have the next segment, and maybe we can bring anybody that you want to bring. Then we can let's drill down to what do you mean about the eyesight.
Yes.
What do we mean when I say the skin is vulnerable?
Yes.
And maybe even talk about, guys, you can the creams that we have to use.
Yeah.
Because those are the other things.
And now they've gone up. And you are there thinking, Ish, I can't change it because I don't know how this one will treat my skin, you know. It's stress.
I can see.
It's stress. It's serious. Ngapha with eye care. Eye care for us it's expensive. I once went to an optometrist and I was told, unfortunately, the optometrist said does not understand the situation of your eyes, so we cannot assist you. I was once told that. So it's really complicated. It's really complicated. We have to pay extra for everything. And the government, I'm sorry to mention the government countless times. One thing that intrigues me, when they are looking to hire people with disabilities, people with albinism are counted. They're like, okay, they have a disability. Yes, let's give them jobs. That's good. We are grateful. But then when it comes to disability grants, when people with albinism go apply for disability grants, they are told they are not disabled. They don't have a disability. But when they need to fill in their scores,
it matters.
Then it matters. And then when it comes to such things that will benefit people with disabilities, because the creams are really expensive, I don't want to lie. They are very expensive. And ngapha we need hats, umbrellas. Sometimes you can't walk long distances. You just have to get a taxi or Uber to protect your skin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the issue of the skin, it's a very serious one because people die of skin cancer. I know a number of people that passed on because of skin cancer. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of life and death. And Bona, they are saying that Tina, we think we are special. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it's a lot of challenges that we really coming across.
Sure.
It's a lot. And when when somebody's struggling financially, they might fail to take care of themselves. That might result to skin cancer, result to them passing on.
And leaving the family.
It's
a rest of all other issues that will come. Mother will die young, then the child suffers, there's nobody to take care. So it's not just that one person who suffers.
It's not just that one person who suffers, yes.
Sure.
It's a lot. Hence, I'm saying the campaigns must happen. We are definitely going to do that. And every platform we get called to, we are not going to undermine any platform. We are definitely going to avail ourselves and voice out because we really need the attention.
Sure. And mouthful. Thank you so much for joining me. So your socials, it's Nomfundo. Tell me all of them. Where do we find you?
It's Nomfundo Nkosi Dlamini. Just whether
Everywhere.
you go to Instagram, wherever.
Facebook, TikTok, everywhere.
I'm TikTok.
Not So now you use mainly Instagram and Facebook.
Mostly my Facebook. But I'll come back to TikTok since it has a large number of following. So people might learn a lot from that.
Okay. I'm looking forward to this. So this is Nomfundo Nkosi Dlamini Umswati. You see, this is the home ground. So I should have also introduced myself. I mean, I have so many surnames. So when it suits me, Mupumzile Dlamini, the girl next door. Not Missy, not Pateri, not anything else because you are here. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope in the conversations that we had with Nomfundo, some of the takeaways are things that you're gonna personally, intentionally start opening your mind and start reaching out to other people who are not like you or who might be having other challenges that you don't have, and say, what can I do to help and be part of you as a human race, not because it's anything different or special. How do you lend a helping hand? And as a community, we grow together. As Conversations with the Kumzila, I think I am so honored to have the ambassador herself, the ambassador, the crowned ambassador herself, and she's definitely doing great work to make sure that we are educated, we are getting the information that we need so that we can do better as people. So remember to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification button so that when we upload a new video, you are the first to know. And please do like and share. Somebody might need this information, or somebody powerful could use this information to make a difference. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to Nomfundo.
It's thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So hey, I can see every time is interviews.
Yes.
Hope to see you on more.
Definitely, most definitely.